Hello, ITPC. Joshua Stewart, Pipe Up North. Well, our cold snap's over. It's Tuesday, so it's time for a codger and a corn cob and tobacco tin Tuesday. We'll get right down to it. My corn cob, just an old Missouri Meerschaum Legend bent stem. This is one that I've got reserved for codger blends. My codger in it today, Borkum Riff Original. Now, in the past I haven't been overly impressed with the Borkum Riff stuff, but yeah, it's not that bad. This one they basically give you the recipe right in the bag. Mixture recipe. Right there. 60% Black Cavendish, 40% Virginia. So if you ever want to make your own, that's all you got to do. I have had trouble in the past with the Borkum Riff biting terribly, but I guess it maybe is just a little bit. I got a charcoal filter rather than my usual Dr. Grable paper filters, so that might be helping a little bit. And it's one of the Dr. Pearl Jr. charcoal filters that they tend to be a little bit more restrictive on the draw, so it's maybe kind of slowing me down a little bit there. I don't know if it's as loud for you as it is for me, but that train sounds like it's right outside here. It's like a mile away, so maybe not quite a mile, but it's a fair distance away. But definitely smells good. Taste is not bad. I don't remember last time I had this. It's been several months. But yeah, say if that's all that was available, I'd happily smoke it. But fortunately, even with all the stuff going on in the industry, there's still a lot of options out there. So I will continue to explore my options. Like I say, not that this is bad. I don't want to. I'm coming around to it more than I did the first couple times I tried it, I think. But that seems to be trying to bite me just a little bit more. Not that it's hot temperature wise, but I think I'm just having a chemical disagreement with it, even with the charcoal filter. But enough about that. There's hundreds of Borkum Riff reviews out there, and I don't have anything new to add, so we'll get on to the tobacco tin. Today, we've got Bagley's Wild Fruit Flake Cut Tobacco from John J. Bagley and Company, Detroit, Michigan. This is a pretty good sized tin. I'm guessing it probably held, well, being flake cut, probably easily a pound, if not more. This is a lunchbox style tin. It's not in that great a shape. The front is actually worse than the back that I showed you before, but cool colors on it. Kind of a neat little hasp on the front here. Open it up. This one's kind of rusty on the inside. The handle is not that good, and the seam back here is kind of coming apart. And I didn't really clean this up at all either. I think there's a fair amount of dust and dirt on it. That thing, especially over here, some of this stuff can probably be cleaned up, but at this point it's probably protecting it more than it's harming it, so I'm going to leave it. Not sure of the age. My obligatory 5 minutes of research turned into about a half hour in this one, just trying to find out more information. I found out quite a bit of information about the John J. Bagley. He had his tobacco business in Detroit. Started as an apprentice when he was, I think, 15 years old in, was it 1847, if I recall correctly, for Isaac Miller, which I thought I read someplace that he was actually the first tobacconist in Detroit, which I could be remembering wrong, or that could be someone that had bad information, or it could be true. I don't know. But anyway, after a few years, John Bagley bought him out, and I would presume changed the name of the company to the John J. Bagley and Company. But I found a lot of information that he changed it to Mayflower Tobacco Company, so I'm not sure if Mayflower was made as like a subsidiary of the John J. Bagley overall, or if it was the other way around, or how it was set up. But say as far as age, I know this could be from the late 1800s. John J. Bagley died in 1881, so I would assume that the company continued on with his name afterwards. It's hard to say. I couldn't find too much information on the company itself. Most of the information I could find was on John J. Bagley himself, who was actually one of the founders of the Republican Party in Michigan. And I suppose got involved in local Detroit politics, serving on the school board and police commission, and eventually successfully running for governor for 2 terms, if I recall correctly. And after he did his 2 terms of governor, which I'm not sure if they had 2-year terms for governor at that time or if it was 4-year terms, but I thought I could look it up again, but it doesn't matter. But then he went back to being a businessman and became quite wealthy, but actually died at age 49, which I know somebody that's 49. He was, I would presume, on a business trip to San Francisco. Who knows, maybe he was meeting with the Sutliff people. Maybe, maybe not, who knows. But yeah, he passed away in San Francisco in 1881 at age 49, and left. He was very very well loved as a governor, from what the history articles say online anyway. And he was kind of a champion for children, and especially orphans in the time, and education. So um, yeah, there's plenty of stuff on there if you want to learn more about him, or more stuff on the internet. I mean, a lot of it just repeats the same stuff no matter what site you go to. Um, but yeah, so Bagley's Wild Fruit Flake Cut Tobacco. I'm just going by the name Wild Fruit. I'm betting it probably had that smell of dark fruit and plums. I could be wrong. This is probably, I'm sure this tin is well over 100 years old. But whether it's from 1910 or 1870, I don't know. But yeah, so just kind of an interesting little thing. Like I say, this is, I believe, commonly referred to as a lunchbox tin with the handle that is broken on this one. Yeah, I say this is bigger than some of them that I've seen on eBay. Most of them are probably about half the volume of this one, a little bit shorter and a little bit narrower that way and a little bit shorter that way. So, but yeah, this is, well, I guess for a size comparison, you could probably fit a few pouches in there. Like I say, flake cut is definitely denser than the ribbon cuts of a lot of modern tobaccos, so a lot more compact. So I'm sure that held at least a pound when it was originally sold. And interesting, like a lot of those older tins, the ones from like probably most of the 20th century, especially post World War II, would say for pipe or cigarette. This, where does it say? For smoking or chewing. So I don't know if they'd, back in the day, if they'd grab a flake of tobacco, like you grab a piece of beef jerky or something and just start chewing on it, or what they did. But I don't think I've had actual real chewing tobacco since I snuck some of my dad's Levi Garrett, or was it beech nut that he used to, he didn't chew much, but he played around with it a little bit. I think it was beech nut that he had. Sneak a little bit of that once in a while when I was about 8 years old. I put it in my mouth, chewed it, and promptly spit it out. I think I remember every now and then trying to sneak one of his cigarettes too, and go back behind the barn and get a couple puffs out of it, and you start to not feel very good pretty quick. I think by the time I was in middle school or junior high, I kind of gave up on trying that anymore. I say until I was in college, and at that time, once you were 18, you could buy tobacco, and it's maybe one of the reasons that I stayed away from it in high school was because I was in athletics, and if you ever got busted, you'd be out for, I don't remember if it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks or number of events, or I don't remember what it was, but I didn't want to risk that, so I avoided it. But by the time I was in college, it's like I wasn't in sports anymore, and smoking still had a little bit of cigarette smoking still had a little bit of coolness at that time. Me and my buddy, we were out one night, and he was actually a guy I went to high school with. And he says, "You know what? I think I'm going to buy a pack of Marlboros." And I said, "You know what? I think I will too." So we each bought a pack of Marlboros, and we didn't know what we were doing. I think I enjoyed it about as much as I did when I was 8 years old on those first couple of cigarettes. Which wasn't very much. But over the course of a week or so, I think I've shared some of this before, kind of fumbled my way through that first pack. Just have a couple a day or so. Finished up that first pack. I bought another one. Got about 2 cigarettes into that pack, and it's like I knew that it could be really addictive, and I wasn't really enjoying it that much. So it's like, well, what am I doing? So I don't remember if I threw away the rest of the pack or gave it to my roommate. He did smoke. I don't remember if he smoked the Marlboro Reds like I had or not. If I might have just given it to him or thrown away. I don't know. Don't remember. Don't matter. Of course, at that time it was about $1.50 a pack, so I wasn't going broke if I had just thrown it away. And other than fumbling my way through a couple of cigars after either my own kids or some friends' kids were born, didn't really light up anything until started with the pipe here. But it's been almost a year and a half already. So yeah, our deep freeze is pretty well over, at least for the time being. We're getting our January thaw. It seems like every year for a few days, middle or late January, it not every year, but it seems to warm up, well into the 30s. And I think there's in the forecast we might hit 40 sometime this week, so that would be kind of fun. Went outside in the parking lot at afternoon break today. Just had to grab something out of my car, and one of the supervisors, he was sitting in his truck. He vapes, and so I just went over and talked to him for a little bit, kind of talking about the weather. And there's go from we didn't get that much snow, not like Florida did, but what we did have was melting, and there was puddles all over the place, which kind of funny. So that's Borkum Riff. I know Paladin talked that this past summer, it was the summer of Carter Hall, that he might be doing Borkum Riff this year, or this summer, or maybe he's going to do it this winter, spring yet, because he's tried some of the Borkum Riffs on camera recently a little bit. Kind of wonder if I'd have this stuff every day for a week, would I come around to it a little bit more? Maybe, who knows? I know I tried that with Prince Albert, because I'd done that with the Carter Hall, and I could smoke Carter Hall every day, and for a while I did. I'd have at least one bowl of that every day in addition to one of the non-codgers of some sort. But I'd always wanted to try the Prince Albert because that was the pipe tobacco that Dad smoked after he couldn't get the Union Leader anymore. And I didn't want to buy a whole tub, but that's all you can get. And they had it for a decent price at place not far from where I travel for work a lot, so it's not and it was I think equal or even a little cheaper than some of the online prices. So, and that was in a state that doesn't have as much tobacco tax, so I was able to get it pretty reasonable. But going off on a tangent again, sorry about that. But anyway, Prince Albert just didn't click like Carter Hall did for me. In fact, now that I'm talking about Carter Hall, actually, I think I've only had one bowl of that in the last week. I'd have to have another one when we're done here. This is just about done anyway, so. I think I will do that. But so anyway, Borkum Riff original. Let's see if I can figure out. I'm guessing this code starts with 2307 on the pouch, so that'd be 7 of 23 that it was manufactured. I marked 4 of 24 when I bought it. I think I've only had 3 or 4 bowls out of the whole pouch because it's still pretty full. Well, I suppose with that I'll probably let you all go. Joshua Stewart, pipe up north. Have a good day.